Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Bjorlo. A diversion program ordered by the court today in the case of the East Lyme police chief.
He's facing domestic violence charges and remains on paid leave tonight. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc has the latest.
He's not an abuser.
East Lyme's police chief, Michael Finkelstein, standing next to lawyer John Nazaro in a Middletown courtroom as prosecutors review allegations against him.
It looks to be 3 matters that were initially investigated by the East Lyme Police Department.
Finkelstein was first arrested back in June for domestic violence charges related to an alleged fight that happened between him and his wife at home, where prosecutors described conflicting accounts of an incident where the couple was arguing over text in Finkelstein's work phone, and his wife ended up with injuries to her face.
At one point, he let go of the phone to defuse the struggle, and hand came up to her face.
As state police looked into East Lyme's internal investigation of those allegations, Finkelstein was hit with 3 more charges connected to a similar incident occurring a year prior, which didn't end in an arrest at the time. Charges the state says could be dropped if he successfully completes the year-long court-ordered diversionary program.
There's nothing about these facts in particular that are different than any other factual scenario in which the court would grant this program.
The goal of the program is to permit someone to have counseling, go through the requirements, and he will complete that. And if successful, the case is then dismissed.
Nazaro says his client is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, in part related to an incident that happened while on the job. He says Finkelstein is receiving mental health counseling on his own since being arrested and is doing better.
This is an unfortunate situation. It resulted in a disturbing situation, an arrest. We want to get the family back together. We want to get him back to work.
Nazaro says though there is a protective order keeping Finkelstein away from his home, he has been in contact with his wife and children on a regular basis. If this is not domestic violence, what is it?
I'm not going to care. I'm not going to respond to that other than the charges speak for themselves. But as I said in court, he's not an abuser, let alone a serial abuser. These are qualified as domestic violence charges under the nomenclature of the program, and thus he's eligible.
Now, Finkelstein will be back here in court in September. In the meantime, he remains on paid administrative leave as a third-party law firm looks into the East Lyme Police Department's handling of this entire situation. We are in Middletown. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Hi, Julia, thank you. We have learned just within the last few minutes that 2 stores in Naugatuck have been cleared by canines after bomb threats. Police say employees at the Walmart on New Haven Road and the Stop and Shop about 4 miles away received calls threatening their stores. Again, bomb detection canines have cleared the areas and both stores are back open now.
Well, turning to the weather now, a soggy start to the week as we take a live look outside right now at Hartford, New Haven, Middletown, and Mohegan Sun.
A soggy start to the week and a soggy middle to the week as well. Meteorologist Ryan Breton here now with the impact this rain will have on your week.
Well, the good news is we actually get a little bit of a break tomorrow, Brent and Bridget. So a little fog in the morning, but most of the time tomorrow will be dry. But right now, we do have some showers that are developing. They're moving generally from northwest to southeast. The heaviest rain right around the Massachusetts border towns, Granby, there's Southwick, Windsor Locks, into Windsor and Bloomfield. And these are coming down into the Hartford area. So I think we'll get some rain in Hartford in the next 15 minutes or so. These are all spinning around a big storm system that's sitting to our north. But the good news is this is now starting to weaken and pull away. So that means tomorrow's weather will end up being better than today. So if you have plans the next few hours, especially in northern Connecticut, be ready for a shower or a quick downpour. The rest of the night, though, will start to dry out, stays warm and muggy all night, and we'll likely have some patchy areas of fog. And that leads us to a cloudy start tomorrow morning, so it'll be a little gray early on, but the afternoon does look better. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds, and it will get warm tomorrow. We're back up to 85 in Hartford, 88 in Windsor Locks, and 84 degrees in New Haven. More rain is coming, though, when it comes in Wednesday morning. We'll go through the timeline on that and take a look through the rest of the week coming up in just a bit.
All right, Ryan, thank you. New here at 6, a man is under arrest in Connecticut as a fugitive from justice. Authorities say he is wanted in Arizona on nearly 20 counts of voyeurism and attempted voyeurism. David Laudati was arrested by the U.S. Marshals in Newington this morning. Investigators say this all stems from an investigation back in 2023 when Laudati was formerly a swim coach. He's being held in Connecticut until he's extradited back to Arizona to face those voyeurism counts. And 2 people are dead after a crash in Hartford. Police say a Toyota Corolla was trying to turn left onto Florence Street when it hit a Mercedes-Benz. The driver and passenger in the Corolla were taken to the hospital where they died from their injuries. 3 people in the Mercedes were all taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
A babysitter facing charges tonight, accused of running over the toddler in her care. That 2-year-old seriously injured, according to police. Officers say the child fell out of an unsecured car seat while Maria Santiago was driving. The child reportedly opened the car door and fell out as Santiago was driving around a curve. Officers examined the car seat and discovered only the chest clip was engaged. Santiago is due in court tomorrow.
An Amazon employee faces charges for allegedly making a bomb threat against a North Haven Amazon fulfillment center. Michael Pierre is accused of calling in a threat on July 14th, saying a bomb was placed in the fulfillment center. The building was evacuated. A search determined the scene was clear. Pierre is being held on $25,000 bond.
A Pennsylvania man remains in Connecticut custody tonight, 24 hours after state police say he broke into a state office building in Hartford. Now, earlier this afternoon, Christian Gonzalez appeared in a Connecticut courtroom for the first time since his arrest yesterday. He's accused of breaching the state building where the Secretary of the State and the Attorney General's offices are located. We learned in court today that Gonzalez is homeless and has been for upwards of 2 decades. He reportedly lives in Shellington, Pennsylvania, but it's unclear tonight how and why he traveled here to Connecticut. We also learned the suspect has a long criminal history, including retail theft, narcotics, and burglary. In court, he was appointed a public defender who asked the judge for a reduced bond due to his inability to pay, to which the judge said this.
I find probable cause based on the police report. The crime with which he is charged, or the crimes with which he is charged, are very serious intrusion into public property and a risk to the public and to the state office employees who work in that building. So I'm going to concur with the bail commissioner and set bond of $50,000 cash or surety.
State police claim to have witnessed Gonzalez force his way into a high-voltage electrical conduit area on the outside of the comptroller's building. He also reportedly damaged various utilities, prompting power outages and system failures at the site, even forcing the building to close today. The defense for Gonzalez said he has serious substance abuse issues and is seeking treatment. He did not enter a plea today. His bond remains set at $50,000, and he's due back in court this September.
New tonight, President Joe Biden is calling for major changes to the U.S. Supreme Court, including term limits and a formal ethics code.
But there is a slim chance that any part of the proposal will actually get approval while Biden is still in office. Fox 61's political reporter Emma Wolfhor is joining us now in studio to explain. Emma.
Bridget, Brent, while these ideas aren't new, they've gotten more discussion recently. But with a divided Congress and fewer than 100 days until the November election, lawmakers I spoke with today say these may be reforms for next session.
I'm going to call for Supreme Court reform because this is critical to our democracy.
It's a promise President Biden made when he dropped out of the 2024 race for the White House. Monday, Biden unveiled his proposal, 3 major changes he wants to see to the nation's highest court: an 18-year term limit for the court's 9 justices, a binding code of conduct, and a constitutional amendment guaranteeing no president is immune from criminal prosecution.
These particular reforms, the term limits and the code of ethics, have certainly come up as of late due to a number of stories, but they're no surprise. They've been discussed for years.
Discussions at times led by federal lawmakers like Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal.
I strongly support these proposals, which mirror my own. It's an idea whose time has come. In fact, it's long overdue for a court that regards itself apparently as accountable to no one.
Federal judges at the district and appellate levels must follow a set code of ethics, but the U.S. Supreme Court does not have one. So why haven't these reforms been passed before?
Only recently have we had great conversation about potentially unethical or allegedly unethical behavior of a small number of the justices. Essentially, a federal judge is in that role for life. It doesn't say for life, but that's how we interpret the clause in the United States Constitution. So only, again, recently have we had conversations about, well, is somebody who serves on the United States Supreme Court for 30 years, does that make sense anymore?
Biden would need congressional approval for any changes to take effect, which Blumenthal says he's unlikely to get.
Realistically, all these ideas begin with a proposal that then builds support, and that's what I think will happen here.
And Connecticut's other senator, Chris Murphy, has also been a big proponent of court reforms, introducing the Supreme Court Ethics Act last year, but that didn't pass. Vice President Kamala Harris, who is also likely to win the Democratic nomination for the White House, voiced her support for Biden's plan today, saying changes would, quote, help to restore confidence in the court, strengthen our democracy, and ensure no one is above the law. Bridget, Brent.